All right, I promise. Put on my heart. I told you I'll stroke your face. All right, this is something called a podcast. Welcome back. Hopefully you are back from last week. And just make sure the mic positions are all sweet. Still hear me good in there, Dre? With us, we got producer Dre. And in the booth with me, this might be the booth now. The booth with my producer, Chris Sandali. And of course, behind the computer in the other side of the glass is Andre Venezuela Marin. And I'm your host, Joshua Henderson, obviously here just to talk to you about random stuff that I come across and get agitated by and have to vocalize through a recorded medium. But yeah, pretty much we had a little bit of technical difficulties setting up in a new space that we have. You can see by the boring grey walls behind me, which will soon be replaced by a magic screen that will be green and we can put whatever we want behind it. I got a mobile one, boys. We'll be bringing that with us next time. What do you say? Good idea? Grey screen, mobile grey screen. Is that too played out? Is that too Twitch streaming? Could be. Keep it natch. All right. Producer Chris says keep it natch. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it natural. So we're on a bit of a tight schedule. We're hitting the mark. And we've got to... This is going to be half an hour legit this time. Last time, dribbled and drabbled. It kept going 45 minutes. We stretched it out a bit. But that ain't no problem. We can kind of dive straight into it. I did get distracted trying to pick... like what topics to start with, and obviously it's March. I hate to be banging on. I'm not banging on, but we got to show some recognition to the members of the LGBTQ plus ITZ community. Rep. I don't know. Can I say? Am I allowed to say? I got my boy Dre, aka Gay Dre, my brother. He's one of the members. I love the dude. It's something I'm finding like reasonably, it's a bit more tolerable this month. Even though I'm a tolerant individual, I've got friends. I've always had friends of that persuasion. And but the thing is, most of the time they just act normal. Like my man Dre, he acts normal. He's just a normal dude doing his thing. There's a much love you, Dre. But there's like a line that like. It doesn't bug me, but it's just, I don't understand it too much. It's when, like, someone becomes, like, a caricature of gayness. It's when they develop, like, that weird accent. It's not weird, but it's like, hey, oh my God, bitches. You know, that's my impersonation of it. But there's, like, a new level now in 2024. I could tolerate that guy, because he was kind of funny, and he would, like, keep hot chicks in check. If they acted too fucking mad, boom. They kind of cause correction, but they've got this thing with like the advertisements. Luckily, it's not too bad. But okay, so Josh got triggered by an ad. It's a simple ad. It's a Pride Month ad, which I do appreciate. They're kind of assimilating into normality. It's I think this month is the 46th Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras in Sydney, which pretty cool. You know what I mean? For all the places on the planet to show tolerance. That's acceptable. Like it's not. I don't have a problem with it. When I've got a problem, and we could probably get like a screen grab and put it up, is when people push the envelope and they have like a gimp bear spray painted in Newtown, like that kids walk past every day. That's too much. If anything, it's got to be somewhat degrading to the community when like they're over sexualized. I've got a thing. I think this is just my opinion, but. Like the gay community with in media and stuff, I think they kind of hypersexualize their lifestyle, and that's kind of not what they're about. I don't think. Like to me, like Elton John is my classic gay example. That's like when I first learned what being gay was Elton John. Well, I don't know. I was a kid. I would have been like 11 years old or something, and listening to Elton John. I think it's Call It the Blues, and I guess that's why they call it the... Everyone knows that song. Classic gangster song, heavy duty. And my mum was like, you know, he's gay. And I was like, what do you mean gay? What's gay mean? And she goes, he doesn't love women, he loves men. And then it kind of clicked because of the way Elton John kind of talked about his relationships in his songs. I was like, man, that's it's different. I wasn't like, oh, that's cool. But I was like, okay, that I can understand, like, you know what I mean? Not everyone has to just love women. There are people that love men the same way. Because I used to listen to that song and think about girls that I had crushes on in, like, you know, late in primary school, early in high school. And I'll be thinking, like, you know what I mean? They're just like us. It's just they're attracted to other dudes. And I was like, well, you love hanging out with your friends. That's like when you take that to the next level, you know what I mean? It's obviously way more past friendship. But the same thing with females. Anyway, long story short, I've got no problem with it. Last year, and I think the year before, I was kind of getting a bit agitated with Pride Month because they was putting the boot on our necks with it. Like, I walked into BWS and it had like rainbow stickers leading you to the fridges and all this and that. It's just, I don't know if even the gay community appreciates the hyper commercialization of their thing, because it's no longer kind of I wouldn't say a minority group, because there's plenty of them, you know what I mean? But it's like they're losing their nichiness, just like with, like, I don't know, all those subcultures. I guess it's not like they have to hide it as a subculture, but it was kind of looked at as an adjacent culture almost. I don't like it. I don't know if they like how mainstream it gets. Anyway, this is just me dipping into something to run and talk with. But I don't know if you guys have seen the it's the Oreo Proud Words ad. So they've really toned it down this year, which I can appreciate, because they're just falling into normality like the rest of us. Because at the end of the day, your sexual identity is only a fraction of who you are as a person. And I don't think that should kind of be the basis of the point of engagement with the world and with people in a social circle. Like, talking about your sexuality should be in the backseat, maybe left for some, like, late night talks on Molly or some shit, you know what I mean? But it's not something that it's like, hi, my name's Josh, I'm gay, rah, rah, rah. It's something that's so insignificant in the realm of, like, being a person and personality-wise. That's why I kind of get triggered and agitated a bit. And that's why, like, I hope my friends of that persuasion understand. And they do understand, you know what I mean? I've got more, it's not just Dre. I've got plenty of friends overseas of that persuasion, friends that I grew up with in high school. And they're all normal dudes. But it's the... I'm not sure if they get, like... If they feel the same way about... Not again. If they feel the same way about... just the way that the community is presented, you know what I mean? Check out, you know, the screen drop of the gay bear in Newtown, which was like wearing a gimp suit. Like, why couldn't you just have, I don't know, two bears with handlebar mustaches walking down the street, like holding hands or something in a picture? There's plenty of things you do, but instead they went for this hyper-sexualized leather straps with a metal ring and wearing the fucking pants. I don't know if they had spikes on or not, but we'll screen grab and drop that picture. I'll send them to my producer and he can add it in. But anyway, the ad, every year it's been pretty bad. This year it's tamed up. But there's one ad where I'm like, I wonder how, like, people actually feel about this. And, like, leave something in the comments in the YouTube clip and let me know. But it's the Oreo Proud Words commercial. And it's just like, you know what I mean? 3 people just emotionally blowing each other about the lifestyle. And they've actually got on the website. I'm on the Oreo website, oreo.com.au. It comes straight up. Proud Words. These are some of the proud words that are printed on the Oreos at the moment. So it's supporting LGBTIQA+. I don't know when they changed the initialisms, but LGBT I think is enough. IQA+, what the fuck is IQA? Queer. What's I? I don't know. A, androgynous? I don't know. Maybe we can figure that out. We can't get feedback from Dre in the booth because there's no... We need to get, like, a speaker system happening. I'm going to bring two-way radios in. Do you know what A is, Dre? Thumbs up. You do? Androgynous? I don't want to make guesses. I might insult people. Paper, pen and paper, forget about it. What about the I? Do you know what the I stands for? Man, maybe I'm just too far out of the circle. It's not because I was raised in the 90s. I had no problem with people doing, with all this stuff. All right, respectful language can make a big difference. That's fair enough. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be a dick about other people's life. If you're not hurting anyone, whatever makes you happy and you're not hurting anybody, Do whatever you want, baby. That's up to you. That's perfectly fine. Everything in lifestyle. Chris, can you give me feedback for the I and the A? Dre's got it up on the screen for us. Yeah. I stands for intersex. Okay, yeah. And A stands for asexual. I understand, but I didn't even know they fell in that category. How do the asexuals feel about that? Is that just like, that's just not horny people? I thought asexual, they're just not interested in like boning and stuff. They're just down for relationships. Which, if you're not boning and down for a relationship, I guess hanging with guys doesn't get much better than that. Everyone just loves hanging with their boys. So if you can hang with your boys and you don't have to blow them, that kind of helps. But that's if you like it, shit, get the blowing. Respectful language can make a big difference. LGBTIQA+. What's in the acronym? ? We just answered that. Realities for the LGBTI. It's just too many letters. LGBTQ it just rolled off the tongue. I think getting the Q involved, that kind of messed it up. And isn't LNG, isn't that Q anyway? Okay, sorry to Qs. I didn't mean to insult you. I'm working through it here, you know what I mean? I'm a 90s child, but I didn't have a problem with Qs, okay? I didn't really throw stones at people who, it's just like I said, if you're happy and you're not hurting anybody, it's a beautiful thing. Enjoy your life. Allyship is a doing word. All right, this is getting a bit communist now. This is like forcing understanding pronouns. There's the last one that came up before my generously donated laptop started crashing out again. I just don't think this thing likes me. Actually, you know what? I've got no problem with these cookies. These cookies are actually enlightening. You know what? Leave the Q in there. I've got no problem with the Q. The I and the A, I think they're just trying to squeeze more in just to gang up on us. Our cisgendered motherfuckers. And cis, I don't know who came up with the word. I don't like cisgendered. But I guess maybe they don't like straight. Anyway, because straight kind of insinuates, you know what I mean? Anything else is deviating from it. Which, whatever your perspective is. Anyway, Proud Words commercial. We'll drop the clip in. I don't know, man. I don't think, not everyone's that soft. Well, when I was growing up around some of the people in that persuasion, you had scary dudes, like they called them muscle Marys back in the day. And these were some intimidating gay dudes, man. Like, that was some staunch fucking gay dudes. I'd like to see some, like, skinhead, red-laced, Doc Marten boot-wearing ass, like, calling them the F word. You know what I mean? I don't think they'll drop faggot on a muscle Mary without getting their teeth removed from the top layer of their mouth. But, okay. Respect to the community there. Do your thing. Don't hurt anybody. You know what I mean? Seek consent. But the Proud Words commercial, it's just, fuck, you're still dudes. Like, harden up. I'll drop the clip in. It's just like, man, we get it. You know what I mean? You're all soft-hearted. Like, yeah, okay. But we can still be dudes. I know gay dudes that are straight dudes. Dre's a dude, to an extent. You're not too dudeish, but you're dudeish enough. It's easy. But, hey, what's up, dude? But, check out the Proud Words commercial. It's not as bad as ones in the past. Like, I remember there was this, like, Pepsi ad with, like, people coming out to their family, and it was just a bit on the nose. We're all just regular folks. We all eat Oreos, you know what I mean? It's all good. But, I just wanted, that's just my little Pride Month rant, because it's Pride Month, and we're going to be doing this once a week. You got to cop 2 more of these rants, and then, you know what I mean? I might even swing into one of these initialisms by the end of it. Let's just wait and see. But, hotspot dropped out. That was a good blast of 15 minutes. And this one's got to be a short one. I can't just keep banging on about this. All right, random subject that I kind of noticed. It's a bit of a gimme. And we have a clip for it as well, which we will drop in post. It's about the use of screen time with kids. Wouldn't mind the sound drop with Reverend Lovejoy's wife.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Pretty much what they say. This is going to be the mark sound. Is me returning on this laptop again. I'm about to take and throw it at Dre's window. Not gay Dre's. Photography Dre's. This has now become the menace. But, yeah, screen time's affecting kids. Who's seen that coming? I don't know. Maybe anybody with an ounce of fucking common sense. I think the problem started a few years ago with Scott Morrison and his education revolution, where he wanted to bring like more tech into the classrooms, which I don't think, considering, I don't know about you, my perspective is the politicians are kind of bought and paid for these days, and to go around yanking big tech's dick about getting technology in the classroom, so pretty much just mass buying shit with your tax dollars, with no, what they promised was that like it would kind of increase learning, you know what I mean? Streamline it, make it more efficient, give more access to kids without it. When I think it just gave kids the abilities to be distracted easier and I'd say more frequently, because some of these kids didn't really have computers at home. Now the government's provided the computers. Now they can be distracted at home, because I know majority won't be just sitting there doing their homework. But what they're actually finding these days is their vocabulary has significantly decreased. Their ability to empathize, so like their emotional intelligence is suffering because of like all this tech use. There's no way an iPad can be good for a kid, considering how antisocial technology has made just regular people who grew up without tech, or at the like Dre grew up, I think, during that time where tech was kind of fresh, but everyone had it in their hands. I grew up, and same with producer Chris, in the stages where you kind of went from analog version of tech to the way more digitized. So like you went from having a Nokia 3310 or 8250 if you were a lucky dude back in the day, to the smartphone that we know today, which is just like a vapid black hole that just sucks your attention in. Even I, which, like I said, I grew up during that time where we're kind of separated from it. I've been sucked in where I'll go to bed and I'll be like, hey, I'll check out what's on Instagram. And then next thing, I fall into a 3-hour scroll hole. Then my eyes start watering. I get a warning. Even the text like, oh, bro, I think you've had enough. Like, that's enough Instagram for today. I get warnings and I'm just like, yeah, whatever, fuck off. I want that quick dopamine release, you know what I mean? Scroll and see. It's, for a kid to grow up with that, I can't imagine the rewiring that's happening within the neurons and the hemispheres of the brain, and the long-term side effects of that. We are yet to see. Like, compile that with the kind of material that they're exposed to, that no one's kind of filtering in, and no one's kind of monitoring or actually curating correctly, which I think people are like, well, they're trying to. Fuck off. I don't think they're actually trying to. I think it's more of it's like a priority of problems. I think they want people to kind of get desensitized and attached and not want to. They don't want kind of people having that ability to connect with each other, because you develop connection, you form groups, you form big enough groups, you can create kind of like think tanks or like resistors groups, depending on what the problem is. Now, obviously that can be a problem depending on what they perceive as a problem, if they're like a resistance group. But look at like the fucking morons we've got today. Yesterday, what did they block off the tunnel in Melbourne? It was the Parkgate Tunnel, I think it was. The Westgate Bridge. Like, the irony of these guys using a truck to block a road to protest about global warming, and everyone's just sitting there with their engines idling, with their exhaust spewing into the atmosphere, and who knows the carbon footprint they're creating. If they just let these people get to their jobs in half an hour and do what they had to do, I think they might be contributing to the problem more than they're kind of causing a solution to it. Because you can't kind of force people into conformity. It's a false form of conformity. It's a surface level. It doesn't penetrate to the soul, where people are willing to die for that change. They're just like, okay, I just want you to shut the fuck up and then I can get on with my day. All right, I'll agree with you. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty and the nuts and bolts and actual feet on the ground, making the right moves, like, people are still doing, the wrong thing technically. Like, I'm pretty sure we can all recycle better, or like control where our waste goes and how we dispose of it. But definitely becoming like more detached and less empathetic to other people would result in maybe a decrease in the ability to raise alarms when alarms need to be raised. Given, like, standard reflex throw out there is COVID. Like, watching everybody's conformity with COVID that was fantastic. Everyone was just pelicans with their mouths open at the boat ramp. Like, they were just eating whatever was getting thrown at them. But so imagine that kind of inability to kind of like seek out new information for yourself, and just the iPhone will be the dude throwing fish guts to the pelicans. Yeah, that's where the fish guts are getting thrown at you, through that iPhone. And you got kids this is their reality. They see reality through this phone. They have more interaction with a smart device than they do with their parents most of the time. And like, that's just going to cause major division. And where's the influence of their life going to come from? Where's the direction going to get kind of encouraged from? It's people are the kids are telling their parents to fuck off these days. Like, they're threatening to get their parents arrested just based on, like, just being little shits who think they know their rights and they don't appreciate the kind of position that they're in. So yeah, apparently they're losing like 1,000 words a month from like this smartphone use. And if anyone could have seen it coming, it should have been the experts who, I think they encouraged this education revolution, the cramming of smart devices into young hands, which in hindsight we should be able to step back and say, okay, let's roll this back. Let's get back to the old school. Let's get them more hands-on. Let's get them like paper and pen, paper and pencil if you're under a certain age. I mean, kids need their pen license still these days, but they'll give them a fucking iPhone and an iPad so they can watch Elsa getting dry humped by Spider-Man because some fucking dodgy dickhead in Eastern Europe wants to put some trauma fucking material onto kids' YouTube. But maybe we can drop a clip in for that. I'll find that clip. So yeah, that was one of the topics that kind of got me going today as well. I did touch on the Extinction Rebellion. And lastly, because this is just going to be a half an hour little tight cast, sweet, tight little cast. It's the whole Trump controversy, which I've been following since 2016. And as somebody who's kind of considers himself like half well versed in politics, I find it like amusing that the people who haven't paid attention during the periods where there were like extremely corrupt politicians and like absolute scumbags in power in America. Now, people in Australia might say, why do you care about America so much? Rah, rah, rah. The rest of the world seems to be more like a bit of an echo chamber when it comes to America. So America will drop the stone in the pond. We're all part of that pond. And then we receive the ripples of whatever they're dropping into the zeitgeist at the moment. You know what I mean? The talking points are repeated from America within Australia. Within like 3 to 6 months, seen it every time. Black Lives Matter during like 2021. It went from America to Australia with like Northern Territory with like crazy individuals who were like still. These people weren't like saints. They weren't just like random Koreans getting hunted down by fucking cops. They were like proper Koreans who were like fucking around, causing havoc in their community. And then everyone's just supposed to associate this movement and kind of bring it over to Australia and just assimilate it with no understanding or no thought of like the people that it might affect. Like trying to protect the criminal class isn't a good isn't a good idea for a society, especially one that wants to be kind of positive and kind of encourage the more, I wouldn't say righteous, but like the law-abiding citizens should be like kind of first in mind when it comes to rights and privileges and everything like that. Not to say people who have offended in the past or anything don't deserve, like, of course they deserve rights, but it's got to go on a spectrum. It depends on what you've done. I don't want some like serial child rapist getting the same treatment as like some dude who's like selling pot or selling drugs. You know what I mean? Whatever drugs they may be. Unless you're like a full pusher dude, that's kind of a shit go. If you're pushing ice onto like 13-year-old girls to try and pimp them out later, you're a fucking scumbag. You deserve just as much as like those serial motherfuckers that they should just be strung up and hung. But the fact that like that kind of movement came through and echoed into Australia, as well as what I previously mentioned in the last podcast, all our politicians were saying, like, we repeat lines. There's obviously some kind of underlying group that's having like boardroom meetings. It could be the World Economic Forum. It could be like those at Davos. It could be like maybe the government's run by corporate overlords like Google and Vanguard and BlackRock and all that. So those people control like majority of what we consume as a society, and the fact that it's a closed, like George Carlin said, it's a big club and you're not in it and we're not in it. Like it's these people's interests lie somewhere else besides the common man and the law-abiding citizen. And this is where I think Trump kind of really ruffled feathers, and this is why they went so hard with the mainstream media, with mainstream news and everything, just trying to throw rocks at him, because he wasn't part of that Vanguard group. He wasn't part of that. He might be, who knows? I'm just going off what my perspective is. But he was kind of like the outsider. So he might be part of the mafia, but he's not part of the family that's currently running the street, you could say, at the moment. And that's what I liked about him. Like, you had George Bush Sr. I grew up during the time, like, Iraq War, so 2001. This is when I started paying attention to politics. A little bit in the early 90s, but I was just a kid. I barely understood it. More in high school, I started getting to understand it more. And then going into, like, my senior years and then entering, like, university afterwards, I started to understand what the government was more supposed to be. And as a child, you think that the government's there to kind of be mummy and daddy when mummy and daddy aren't around. This is like the childish perspective of it, which some people never grow out of. They think that is the role of the government, is to kind of look after us when they're not really an authoritarian figure on the people. They're like they're an employee of the people, and a lot of people forget that these people are supposed to do what's best for us and kind of what we want done. They're supposed to follow our word and our lead. And when they don't act appropriately, or when they screw up, it seems like there's a lack of accountability. It's all right. It's going to start real quick. You can press it again. There's a lack of accountability, and it kind of, there's no really repercussions for them. It's all right. Sorry, let it go. Let it go. Yes, there's no real repercussions, and that's what I kind of liked about Trump. He kind of went through. He was like the opposing family who committed was that Gambino's? I forget, like the Valentine's Day massacre. It's like one mafia has to wipe out the other family to take control so they can make shit run properly. Like the Corleones going against whoever the fucking other families were. Some sound like Beetle. Remember, some families starting with the B. But that's what the good thing about Trump. So maybe he wasn't all about like just looking after the people, even though that's how he comes across, and I appreciate that. But he didn't want to stand for the same things the old families used to stand for, and they couldn't stand that. The fact that they were going to lose their grip and their little rackets that they had going. That's why he was fantastic. And like everyone, he sucked Obama's dick. That guy was a fucking scumbag. You're just going to look at the history of like what he did during his time, what he accomplished. Okay, for me, bottom line, it's about a war and peace. It's full stop. It's as simple as that. War and peace. What leaders in the world create more peace than they do wars? Which leaders create more wars than they do peace? 2001 to 2016, non-stop wars. Middle East promised to take down, they wanted to take down 7 nations. Hillary Clinton, the pig, was part of that campaign. Take down Libya. Look at the clip of her when they killed Gaddafi. What her perspective on it was. Like, he wasn't like an atrocious figure either. If you know your history, everyone says he's a dictator, but who the fuck's telling you he's a dictator? These are people who like remove the rights of the people. I think more frivolously than I think fucking even Gaddafi did. I guess if you mess with the wrong people, you kind of get dealt with. And it's just like the mafia families, especially in an area like the Middle East, you've got to be like kind of king of the crazies to rule all the crazies there. It's not like a peace-loving area where you can just kind of settle down and allow democracy to take its course, because they do have people that kind of, by the point of a gun, will tell people which way to go. And the fact that from 2001 to 2016 there was non-stop conflict, Trump came in, we had peace for 4 years, petrol prices went down, economies went up, Australian dollar for American dollar went better. It seemed like something good was happening, and all they could concentrate on was like, he was an offensive figure. Like, fucking to who? You know what I mean? I don't understand who was that offended by him, besides like these left-wing liberals, like extreme leftists, that they get offended by anything. Like, they get offended if you address them, if you don't understand their pronoun before you fucking meet them. Obviously, it takes a second to get to know people, and you go off face value. Humans, unfortunately, do judge a book by its cover. That's how we kind of function in society. That's how we developed our instincts. You don't just assume everybody's okay, because not everybody's okay. Some people are out to fuck you up. So some people live that lifestyle of like predator and prey, you know what I mean? Some people are the predators in this world, unfortunately. It's not fucking a sunshine, yellow brick road place. There is an evil Wizard of Oz kind of pulling the strings, and then there's like evil henchmen lurking everywhere. But like, all you have to do is just scratch the surface a bit and look at like the real numbers. And for me, baseline, easy figures, easy facts. How many wars were started during Trump's presidency as opposed to everyone before him? All right, look into that. Is he a bad guy? To me, no. Less wars, trying to make peace with North Korea. Fucking man, dude effort. All right, we're pushing 33 on the clock. Keep rolling, wrap it up. All right, I'm getting the rolling fingers. We're gonna have to wrap it up here. This was just a quick one. I do apologize. We will in post obviously drop some clips in. Hopefully they'll stretch it out a bit to make it a bit more entertaining. We are gonna go more long form, so stick with us. It's just gonna keep getting better and better. I can promise you that. All right, I promise. Put on my heart. I told you I'll stroke your face. We'll be back. But this is something called a podcast. Again, thank you, producer Chris and Dre in the booth. We got another one done. That's the main thing, son. Big love. Big love from everybody. Big love from Dre. I love big love from Chris always. And big love from me. Look after yourselves and each other. Something called a podcast. Peace.